1979, when I was really down and out and ready to cash in my chips with heart problems that I didn't even know about. Your mother, Barbara Ann, helped me through the rough spots, and together we had you. Now I really had something to live for. No better things or events could have happened to me. We've
What's
come
up,
a long
Renata?
way in the last 8 years. Together we have built a whole new
That's Boogie? That just took me a second there.
life with an exciting set of dreams.
But by far the most important message Bob wanted Chris to take away was the importance of legacy. He recounts the story of
Oh,
how
I
he
think they
carelessly
told
broke
me
his
that.
late grandfather's straight razor, an item that held great sentimental value to him, and how it caused him to realize the respect he ought to hold for their memories. From this, he hoped his son would cherish any future inherited belongings he might be given by his father, such as his prize stamp collection.
Do not be in such a hurry to use, play, or work with these things. First, learn all about them, how to use them and enjoy their value, and how you can thoughtlessly waste their value, then enjoy them as I have. As a boy, my greatest dream was things from my mother, father, and grandparents. All of my books, stamp collections, and records. My dreams for you, your mother, and other personal things.
This idealized new life he wished to build with Chris and Barbara would culminate in the backyard of the Chandlers' house. In 1989, Bob created a plaque and placed it on their backyard shed, proclaiming it as the dreaming studio of Mr. C and Little C. It's here that he'd attempt to teach Chris how to create things. Evidently, the dreaming studio didn't last long enough to make a true impact on Chris though, because in spite of the clear sentimental value Bob placed on his belongings, Chris would later sell his father's cherished stamp collection in 2017.
Jesus.
Using the profits to purchase
Hey, look at that like-dislike ratio.
toys. While on the subject of games, when examining the Chandler's Christmas of 1989, it can be discovered that Christopher received a Nintendo Game Boy from Santa, his second ever video game console. It was that same year that the young boy purportedly began speaking again, with the help of his speech therapist. By age 7, Chris had defied the professional's original expectations of him, an accomplishment that he'd wear with pride for the rest of his academic career. Soon after regaining his voice, for unknown reasons, Christopher was transferred from Greene County Primary School to Nathaniel Greene Elementary to attend the 4th grade. Although he was still riding off the success of regaining his speaking abilities, the administrators at this new school were not as impressed. While we'll never know for sure what happened there, legal documents indicate that the district had attempted to place him at a separate special education school, a decision that Bob and Barbara fought tooth and nail. It's speculated that they felt Chris's recent successes proved he didn't need the accommodations. Additionally, given their advanced age, they likely had a
I guess they were pissed off. Why are the dislikes so high on that video? I guess they were pissed off that he was selling his dad's collection.
different perception of special ed than what was offered at the time. Regardless, the parents escalated the conflict. Chris recounts his experience at the school as one of frequent physical abuse, notoriously recalling an incident in which 5 facility members, including the school principal, pinned him down to the floor and recorded his cries on an audio cassette tape. Chris attributes this alleged assault to having been motivated by lust, going so far as to accuse the principal of being a pedo. He claims that the man had him sit on his lap before whispering quote-unquote offensive things to the young child. However, given the detail that the alleged assault was recorded, some have speculated it's much more likely that Chris had thrown cancer, and facility members recorded his cries as evidence that he couldn't function in a mainstream institution. Upon learning of the incident, Bob filed legal action against the administration, causing Chris to be homeschooled during the proceedings. The case was eventually dropped in 1994. At this point, with the young boy's mainstream enrollment still in jeopardy, Bob and Chris moved to Chesterfield County so they could legally attend a different school district. This forced Bob to retire, becoming a stay-at-home father. In order to continue working her job, Barbara remained at their home in Ruckersville, though she would come to visit them every weekend. The decision to keep Chris in public school is perhaps the single most
I wonder why he's so fucked up, man.
significant turning point regarding his early development. The failure to provide accommodations for his special needs led to feelings of ostracization and appeared to hinder Chris's social development. Jumping forward to the Christmas season of 1992, Bob and Chris made a stop at the Regency Square Mall. At this shopping center was an animatronic creature named Leonard Bearstein, who conducted a symphony orchestra.
That's not always true. It just sounds like Chris's family had a lot of issues. And then on top of it, he had also, you know, it's a combination to create a perfect storm of what we sadly now know as Chris Chan, you know?
As part of a musical program. The animatronic was designed to be interactive, engaging with the audience in conversation through its human operator. The crowd was light that Thursday afternoon, causing Christopher to be able to have a largely one-on-one conversation with the robot between songs. Chris was spellbound, leading him and Bob to watch the performance for the next hour. In the midst of their conversation, Leonard Bearstein asked Christopher for his name. When Chris responded, the operator must have misheard him, as he began referring to the child as Christian. Following that interaction, the mistake stuck with Chris.
I mean, the one thing I could say ageism it applies with here is that they had no idea what Chris Chan was doing. They didn't understand the internet. They didn't understand how to stop it. From what I've heard, they were also against bringing him to therapy, which I don't understand for the life of it. I like when the Chris is actually being confirmed that that was with mental health, which makes sense. That's where Chris
Chris going so far as to request his name be changed from Christopher to Christian.
A mental
Oddly
health.
enough, Bob and Barbara agreed and had it legally changed the following year. With this brand new first name bestowed upon him by an animatronic bear, the now adolescent boy continued his education at Providence Middle School in the fall of 1993. He later described this campus as being much more pleasant than Nathaniel Green, and attributes his happiness there to a teacher named Mrs. Sanford, who is to date the only educator that Chris has singled out favorably. She helped the child develop social skills and instructed him on how to cope with the verbal bullying he endured. Upon his graduation from Providence, Mrs. Sanford wrote a personal letter addressed to Chris, in which she gave him heartfelt advice and bid her well wishes.
If you show people where your weak points are located, then they will know how to push your button. If you never show them, they will never know. Do your very best at Manchester. Put your best foot forward and treat others as you wish to be treated. Love, Mrs. Sanford.
What's up, little buddy?
Of all the pop culture movements in the 90s, one of the most prominent was the mascot with attitude trend, and the most notable example of this was Sega's Sonic the Hedgehog. Debuting in 1991, the Blue Blur is most notable for his extreme speed. Made specifically to appeal to Western markets, the character was a massive success, quickly receiving his own syndicated Saturday morning cartoon in 1993. To promote the release of this new TV series, Sega hosted a contest known as the Sonic the Hedgehog Watch and Win Sweepstakes, in which they challenged viewers to write down what Sonic's
I think I actually remember that hearing.
said at the end of each episode. Upon mailing in their transcript,
You'll understand how this ties into Sonic the Hedgehog for those of you who don't know the lore of Chris Chan.
descriptions, they would then be entered into a drawing, where they'd have a chance to win a $1,000 shopping spree at KB Toys. As an early adopter of the Sonic craze, Christian entered the contest, and as luck would have it, when the winners were selected in February of 1994, he actually won.
Do was exactly what
I've seen this before.
a cartoon, and I'd listen to what Sonic says at the end of it, and write it down
God, Chris Chan still talks the same shit.
for a whole week, and then I had to mail it in, and I had to be drawn out of the head, and I just won.
This victory marked the beginning of Christian's obsession with Sonic, who would go on to become his professed lifelong hero. And after the high of this spending spree, it wouldn't be the last time he entered a contest. By the spring of 1996, the family was once again together as Barbara retired from her job to live with her husband and son in Chesterfield County. This wouldn't last long, however, as according to Chris, some of their neighbors began spreading harmful rumors regarding the family. While what happened has never been specified.
Yeah, that's been a long weekend, but worth it though. It's been a long weekend.
The situation was apparently vitriolic enough to cause them to relocate to an apartment complex just outside of Richmond. But being immersed in his pop culture pastimes,
I bet you it was because they were hoarders.
Chris was largely unfazed by these developments. It was that September that Christian finally began his first year at Manchester High.
Because if you see some of the videos, not when they went into the house, it seemed like Chris Chan cleaned up before Gamer from Mars went there. And it was still messy, but tolerable. But like when Chris Chan showed videos back in the day, holy shit, man. Oh Jesus, your uncle went there for a heinous, a more heinous act? Okay. Well, okay then.
A period he would retrospectively deem the happiest times of his life. At this school is where the creation of his very first Sonic the Hedgehog fan character, Bionic the Hedgehog, was conceived. Spending much of his freshman year as a water boy for the varsity basketball team, he came up with the character after being hit in the head with a basketball while he was daydreaming about Sega's game mascot. It is rather fittingly an orange recolor of Sonic that likes to play sports. This 9th grade year would also mark the beginning of his passive love quest, developing a major crush on a cheerleader he'd met during practice. After befriending the young lady, he quickly confessed that he had feelings for her, to which she politely turned him down. In contrast to his time at Providence, Chris's years at Manchester High were filled with far more conflict. In sophomore year, Christian was forcibly assigned to take the special education bus after a petty conflict with another student. According to Chris, he and another teen would race every day to see who could exit the vehicle first. This competition escalated, eventually culminating in the boy punching Chris in order to beat him out the door. However,
I would get a current gen iPad. Pretty sure it's more powerful, even the base model. Not sure exactly what chip was in the... Yeah, it's definitely more powerful.
Like many of Chris's recollections from this period, what actually occurred is rather unclear. Across his various recountings of the bus incident, Chris has contradicted himself numerous times. He claimed that he both did and didn't fight back, and also went back and forth on whether or not his glasses had been broken. What has remained consistent, however, is his adamance that he was blameless. He bemoaned that in spite of instigating the fight, the other boy quote-unquote got off scot-free. Regardless of the truth, it was because of this
Everyone, I don't think I ever had the bowl cut though. I'm pretty sure I didn't. I had a mullet though.
Conflict that he was removed from the mainstream busing system and forced to ride with who he rudely described as...
If anything, I would get the, you know, it would be nice, and I have one, I know it's nice, the iPad mini, the newest one. USB-C, has the same chip as the iPhone 13 in there. Yes, he does. He eats a Mexicali Blue every day.
As the slow in the minds. At this point, it's worth discussing Chris's particular distaste towards the developmentally disabled, one that illustrates the ability...
Works with the Apple Pen as well. Yeah, I like the iPad mini.
...instilled in him by his parents. It's clear at this...
Yeah, but what the... Like, but you can even do 4K video editing with the iPad mini. And it's not that I'm trying to see, you can buy whatever the hell iPad you want. I'm just saying, like, most cases, what are you going to really... Now, a laptop, that's different. You're going to do a ton of video editing, a ton of content creation. But on